The air tasted different here. Crisp, clean, and full of promise. Each breath felt like a gentle invitation, as if the forest itself was welcoming me into its embrace. There was a subtle sweetness to the morning mist, a freshness that seemed to wash away the fatigue of city life, and fill me with anticipation for what lay ahead. I stood at the edge of a vast Slovenian forest, ancient trees towering above, their leaves forming a thick green canopy. The sheer scale of the woods was humbling. Trunks wide as doorways, branches interlaced high overhead, creating a living roof that filtered the sunlight into a soft, emerald glow. It felt as though I was about to step into a world untouched by time. I came seeking adventure, to escape the city's noise and feel the wild power of nature. The transition from concrete and car horns to birdsong and the rustle of leaves was almost surreal. Here, the only schedule was set by the rising sun and the rhythm of my own footsteps. This forest was a living, breathing wilderness, calling to the wild spirit in all of us. Every tree seemed to whisper stories of centuries past, and every shadow hinted at mysteries waiting to be discovered. The landscape stretched endlessly, a patchwork of green, gold, and brown, alive with the quiet energy of nature. My backpack was light: map, compass, water, food, but most important was my spirit, hungry for exploration. I carried only what I needed, leaving behind the clutter of daily life. Each item was chosen with care, a reminder that in the wild, simplicity is strength. The trail ahead was a narrow ribbon winding between mossy trees and ancient rocks. It twisted and turned, sometimes disappearing behind a thicket or a fallen log, always inviting me to see what was around the next bend. The path was soft underfoot, cushioned by years of fallen leaves and pine needles. Sunlight danced through the leaves, painting golden patterns on the forest floor. The light shifted with every breeze, creating a living mosaic that changed from moment to moment. It was as if the forest itself was alive, breathing and moving in harmony with the wind. With my first step, the sounds of civilization faded, replaced by rustling leaves and distant bird song. The forest was alive with subtle music, the gentle creak of branches, the soft patter of small animals in the undergrowth, the occasional call of a woodpecker echoing through the trees. A profound peace settled over me. This was freedom, a chance to reconnect with the earth and myself. In the hush of the woods I felt my worries slip away, replaced by a sense of belonging. Here I was not just passing through, I was part of something greater, something timeless. I had studied the maps and planned my route, but the forest had its own plans. Trails sometimes vanished, new paths appeared, and the landscape shifted with the light. I realized that true navigation here meant trusting my instincts as much as my compass. True adventure isn't about following a perfect line, it's about embracing the unknown. Each step off the main trail was a leap of faith, a willingness to let go of certainty and discover what surprises the forest might hold. The unknown was no longer something to fear, but something to celebrate. My heart beat in rhythm with the wilderness. I could feel the pulse of life all around me, the steady growth of trees, the quiet scurry of creatures, the slow unfolding of ferns in the morning light. It was a symphony of existence, and I was just one note in its melody. I walked with purpose and reverence. This was a sacred space, a cathedral built by nature. The towering trunks were like pillars, the canopy above a stained glass ceiling of living green. Every step felt like a quiet prayer, a moment of gratitude for the beauty that surrounded me. Every root, stone, and creature belonged to this intricate web of life. The forest floor was a tapestry of textures and colors, twisted roots, smooth stones, tiny mushrooms, and darting insects. Each element played its part in the grand design, reminding me of the delicate balance that sustains this world. I was just a visitor, a humble guest. The forest had been here long before me and would remain long after. My presence was a privilege, not a right, and I moved with care, determined to leave no trace but my footprints. My goal wasn't to conquer, but to learn from the forest. I wanted to observe, to listen, to let the wisdom of the wild seep into my bones. Each moment was a lesson in patience, humility, and respect for the natural world. I wanted to understand its secrets, and maybe understand myself. The forest was a mirror, reflecting my hopes and fears, my strengths and vulnerabilities. In its quiet, I found space to think, to dream, and to simply be. The real adventure had begun. With every step deeper into Slovenia's green heart, I felt more alive, more connected, and more ready to discover not just the wonders of the forest, but the possibilities within myself. The forest was a feast for the senses, a living tapestry that seemed to breathe and pulse with every step I took. As I entered, the world outside faded away, replaced by a symphony of sights, sounds and scents that drew me deeper into its embrace. Endless shades of green surrounded me, deep pine, vibrant ferns, moss like velvet on tree trunks. Each layer of foliage seemed to tell its own story, from the ancient trees towering overhead to the delicate ferns unfurling at my feet. Wildflowers splashed purple, yellow and white across the clearings, their colors vivid against the green backdrop. They seemed to appear like brushstrokes on a living canvas, each petal catching the light in a different way. The canopy above formed a living mosaic, shifting with the light. Sunbeams filtered through the leaves, creating patterns that danced on the forest floor, ever-changing and mesmerizing. A gentle breeze whispered through the leaves, a calming, meditative sound. The rustling overhead was like nature's own lullaby, soothing and constant, inviting me to slow down and listen. Birds sang from hidden branches, their melodies filling the air. Each call and response echoed through the trees, a reminder that I was never truly alone here. Life was everywhere, even if unseen. My footsteps crunched on dry leaves, grounding me in the moment. The sound was both familiar and new, a gentle reminder of my presence in this ancient place. The silence here was full of life's quiet music. Every pause was filled with the subtle hum of insects, the distant call of a woodpecker, or the soft sigh of wind through the branches. I breathed in the earthy scent of soil, the sharp fragrance of pine, the freshness after rain. The air was thick with the aroma of growth and renewal, as if the forest itself was exhaling after a long drink. Every scent told a story of life, decay and renewal. Fallen logs became nurseries for new shoots, and the cycle of growth and decomposition was visible everywhere I looked. I touched rough bark, cool stones and soft ferns, each texture a reminder of my connection to this place. The sensation of nature beneath my fingertips was grounding, a tactile link to the world around me. The air shifted between cool shade and warm sun. In one moment I was wrapped in the gentle chill of shadow, in the next I basked in golden light, feeling the warmth seep into my skin. Tiny dewdrops clung to spiderwebs, sparkling like jewels in the morning sun, each one a miniature world reflecting the forest's beauty. I scooped up soil, feeling its coolness and life. The earth was rich and dark, teeming with unseen organisms, a reminder of the hidden energy that sustained this vibrant ecosystem. This physical connection grounded me. Sitting quietly, I felt the pulse of the forest, a steady rhythm that seemed to match my own heartbeat. I was part of this ecosystem, not just an observer. The boundaries between myself and the forest blurred, and I felt a sense of belonging that was both ancient and immediate. It was a powerful, humbling feeling, one that reminded me of my place in the world, small but connected, a single thread in the vast, living tapestry of the forest. Hours passed as I wandered, lost in the forest's beauty. The path faded, but I pressed on, confident, until I checked my map. Landmarks didn't match. A cold knot formed in my stomach. The familiar trail had vanished. Silence fell, the birdsong faded. The forest felt watchful. The trees, once majestic, now loomed like silent guards. Every direction looked the same. I was off the map, lost. Panic threatened, but I forced myself to stay calm. I sat on a fallen log, closed my eyes and focused on my breathing. Inhale, exhale. The shock faded, replaced by determination. I was lost but not helpless. I had my skills, my wits, and the will to survive. The challenge had truly begun. As the sun set, the forest transformed. Twilight painted the woods in purples and blues, shadows playing tricks on my eyes. Fear crept in, whispering doubts, but beauty remained. The last sunlight cast a magical glow, silencing my worries for a moment. The forest was not my enemy, just powerful and neutral. Fear kept me alert, wonder fed my spirit. Courage wasn't the absence of fear, but moving forward despite it. As darkness fell, I promised myself I would not let fear win. I would face the night with respect, searching for beauty even in the darkness. The first rule of survival: stop and think. My training took over, pushing panic aside. I had limited water, a few energy bars, a knife, and a fire starter. The temperature dropped, shelter and fire became my priorities. I found a clearing under a rock overhang, gathered dry wood, and built a fire. Sparks caught, and soon a warm flame pushed back the darkness. Relief and triumph washed over me. I had created fire, a pocket of safety. I rationed my water and food, planning for the next day. My mind cleared. Survive the night, find water in the morning, seek high ground. I wasn't just hoping, I was surviving. By the fire, the forest's night world emerged. Crickets, frogs, an owl's distant call. A twig snapped nearby, my heart pounded, but it was likely just a small animal. At dawn I followed the land downhill, searching for water. The sound of a stream lifted my spirits. I drank, refreshed, and filled my bottle. Following the stream I saw deer tracks, a kingfisher's flash, a buzzard circling above. These encounters reminded me I was not alone. I was part of this wild world. The forest became a classroom full of lessons for those who paid attention. The second day was even more grueling than the first. My legs ached, my shoulders throbbed beneath the weight of my pack, and every step felt heavier than the last. Fatigue set in, seeping into my bones, and with it, a creeping sense of doubt began to take hold. The forest seemed endless, the trees closing in around me, and for a moment I wondered if I'd ever find my way out. I decided to follow the stream, hoping its gentle flow would eventually lead me to civilization. But as I traced its winding path, it only seemed to twist deeper and deeper into the heart of the forest, pulling me further from any sign of people or roads. The sound of water was soothing, but the uncertainty gnawed at me with every turn. I fought the urge to give up, telling myself to just keep moving. I broke the journey into small, manageable goals, reaching the next bend, walking for 10 more minutes, then another 10. Each tiny milestone became a victory, a reason to keep going, even as exhaustion threatened to overwhelm me. My own voice became my ally in the silence of the woods. I whispered encouragements. "You can do this. Don't give up. Just one more step." The words echoed in my mind, a lifeline to cling to when hope felt distant. Then, hope arrived in the smallest of moments, a patch of wild raspberries growing beside the path, their sweetness a welcome surprise, and a sudden break in the trees where sunlight poured through, warming my face and lifting my spirits. These little gifts from the forest reminded me that I wasn't entirely lost, that there was still beauty and possibility all around me. Gathering my remaining strength, I climbed a rocky outcrop, scrambling over loose stones and roots. At the top, I paused, breathless, and scanned the horizon. That's when I finally saw it. A thin, gray line cutting through the green expanse, a road far in the distance, almost shimmering in the afternoon light. Relief and hope surged through me, stronger than anything I'd felt in days. For the first time I had a direction, a destination to aim for. The sight of that road was like a promise. I wasn't alone, and I wasn't lost forever. The journey ahead was still long, and the forest between me and the road looked dense and challenging. But now, I had a lifeline, a reason to keep moving forward, no matter how tough the path became. With renewed determination and a spark of hope in my heart, I began my descent, ready for the final push towards safety and the world beyond the trees. The final stretch was pure endurance, pushing through undergrowth, scrambling over logs, wading the stream. The image of the road guided me forward. As the sun set, I made camp one last time, feeling calm and grateful. I had faced my fears, and survived. Under a sky of brilliant stars I reflected on the lessons the forest had taught me. At dawn, I set off, the forest's sounds now familiar. Hours later I heard a new sound, a vehicle. Breaking through the trees I stumbled onto the road. I had made it. Looking back, the forest was no longer a prison but a powerful teacher. It had tested me, stripped me down, and revealed a strength I never knew I had. Getting lost in Slovenia's forest was one of my greatest challenges and rewards. It taught me the power of preparation, respect for nature, and the strength within us all. The greatest adventures lie just beyond our comfort zones. Even in fear there is beauty, in struggle, discovery. These lessons aren't just for the wild, they're for life. We all face our own forests. Keep moving, stay positive, trust your strength. Find your own adventure, big or small. Step outside your routine, push your boundaries. The world is waiting. Your greatest adventure is out there. Go find it.